are. It's Friday morning of our June campout. Say hello, campers.
Morning.
Hello, campers.
All right, so I'm not sure what all we have to report, but we're going to find out. I think that there's probably been a few really cool experiences that happened last night. Who'd like to start?
Someone went on night walks last night, but
Yeah.
Kevin and I went on a night walk last night. We went up the road back here that goes up to the viewpoint. We didn't go all the way to the top. We just walked part way up to a section. Kevin said it's right above camp, so we'll back up that way, where there's a kind of a cleared area. A lot of the trees are down, and it was after dusk, getting to be pretty dark, and a few things occurred. I remember on the way up there were certain parts, actually on the way down too, where I felt like I was getting some kind of like an energy rush, just from cheekbones all the way down to the knees and kind of that area down and back up. That felt like it's like a rush of energy, almost like a feeling you get when you have like nervous excitement or almost like chills going through your spine. And I was talking to Kevin about it, telling him what I was feeling, and he was describing that as like, that can be something that you feel when you know that they see you or something, that they're watching you. And he said that he was feeling like we were being observed as we walked up the road. We went up to the cleared area when we stopped and talked there for a while, and while we were talking, I was getting these rushes off and on, but also kind of seeing flickers of light kind of in my periphery. Not sure if it was a trick of the eyes or something was there, but it was different. It's interesting. But then on the way back down, we came around one of the switchbacks, going back down a straightaway now, and Kevin stopped us, and he said that he heard two, the thump, two steps, go step, step, as if something jumped down from the upper slope onto the road behind us. We stopped and observed, and I couldn't see anything up there, but when I looked through my peripheral vision, I could kind of see some kind of light action up there. I was getting those energy rushes again as we were standing there, and Kevin seemed to sense that whatever or whoever was there was just standing, not approaching, and we just stood there for a while and just took it all in, kind of observed activity, what might happen, and then we just slowly continued back down the road, back towards camp, and it seemed like whatever might have been there was kind of just following along with us, not really getting closer or farther back, but sometimes you might hear an occasional, just like a scuffle in the gravel, or very kind of faint, but
As though something was coming down the road behind you?
Possibly, yeah. It was, there were those initial two, jump down steps, thump thump, and then after that I couldn't really hear much, except for maybe like a scuffle.
Well, Kevin had to leave this morning, so you're kind of reporting for both of you.
Yeah.
I have a question, so when you were coming back down after he heard the thump thump, because he had told us about that last night too, and then you hearing the scuffles coming down the road, was this something that you were hearing while you were walking, or was this something that you would hear when you stopped to listen?
I think while we were walking, I heard one scuffle. Kevin's hearing more than I was hearing. I don't know if my ears are quite tuned in to the forest environment yet, coming from the city. But,
Okay.
But for me, it was just getting these sensations of these energy rushes, almost like the scanning effect that you guys have described before.
Okay.
Really, yeah, it's this really interesting feeling. Very
Okay.
different.
Wow.
And then, yeah, a few moments later, we were back down here at camp, and no longer sensed anything, didn't see anything down here after we got back at that point, and that was the end of our night walk.
Wow. Cool.
very cool.
Thank you for sharing.
Pretty intense experience.
Right on. Okay.
Happy birthday.
Yeah.
Really? Well, was 3 months ago.
Oh.
It's my amazing birthday present that
Yeah.
my girlfriend Monica got for me. So
Aw.
yeah, grateful to be here. It's just an amazing group of people. So
Great.
Well, we're glad to have you here.
too.
Yeah.
Definitely. Then there was another night walk. Did anything happen on your night walk?
Yeah, actually, what do you talk
About the only thing I really seen is when we got to where we were going to stop, I noticed about 50 yards in front of me, I could see like little red and white lights, kind of like if there were rats that had lights on them, running across the street and then shooting
And
off.
this was out on the main road,
Uh-huh.
and this was after dark.
Oh, yeah. It was
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
There it is.
So yesterday afternoon, you know, you reported at the last camp out that you saw the little red light that was.
These were smaller than, of course, it was
Okay.
farther away.
Well, yesterday afternoon when I was coming back up, there was a couple of our campers had parked down there right at the intersection, and there's a massive X structure right there.
There is.
And they had gone into the woods to check that out. So as I'm coming up the road, I can see a car that's kind of parked there across from where we turn. And as I approached, I got about 100 feet in front of that car, about maybe 6 inches off the ground, there was a little red flash of light, you know, just a little red flash, and it went zzz, zzz, and gone.
That's what
And
I
that was in the daylight.
Last
Yeah.
month, yeah.
And it went right, you know, I didn't see it go into the woods, but it went into the direction of the woods where the campers were checking out the
By the time
structure.
you get to the side of the street or right where the gravel and just like disappears.
Yeah, that's what I saw, and it was the middle of the afternoon.
And yesterday it was like that, but farther away, so I couldn't really tell how big, but it was just like.
Cool.
Cool.
Yeah, well, the stick breaks and stuff. We felt
Well,
like there was something
There's some
walking
stick breaks and
alongside of
stuff
us for quite a
by
while.
us.
Oh, so you felt like you were being paralleled?
Yeah.
Oh, cool. Okay, like close to the edge of the road, or back in a ways,
Pretty
or
close. No, I could hear stick breaks pretty well. Could you?
yeah.
yeah,
You didn't-
we
I
heard.
heard 'em.
I heard about
Yeah.
3 different stick breaks. Courtney and I heard them at the same time.
Wow, cool. Okay. Did you have something you saw out there that you were going to share?
Well, we all got to a little crossroads section and stopped. It was a nice open window to the sky, and I set some intentions, and a UFO flew over, and we all got to watch that. And it was a bright white orb style, high up but not too high up. And it went from a medium light to a higher light, and then from that higher light it faded into nothing
Wow.
as it traversed the sky. So we saw that on the walk and came back into camp after that, and throughout the night checking the skies. Multiple people got to see a lot of action
Wow.
in the skies. I also heard yesterday when I went back to my tent after we went over to the cabin. I went back to freshen up at my tent, and I heard screams off past the creek,
Oh, okay. Like on the other side,
or like down.
downstream.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, cool. Thank you.
You
Okay. Let me see. You had something, didn't you, Reba?
What part?
Well, being, new camper here, you were a little nervous, so you had planned on, you were going to set off your alarm if you got scared so somebody'd come, right?
Okay, you want me to tell you about that?
So what happened?
I will say that, but before I do, can I say that we were sitting at camp for a long time last night. And I mentioned to you, Peter, that I saw, or all of us, that I saw some eye shine over here when I looked off that way, and I couldn't remember what was over there. Peter told me later that it was your bus that may have seen light. But now that I'm standing, okay, now that I'm standing here, or here, I see that it was in those trees in the hillside, and it was more than just one light; it was several. So there was like white light, and it was better if I didn't look at it directly. And then there was a red light that was up those little trees right there by the road. It was just beyond that, above your bus.
Wow.
Maybe I need to open the curtain so they can see my little lights inside there.
Yeah, let them peek
Well-
in at you.
That's what it's like.
And so this was my first experience to be in the tent, and I had a discovery that definitely we are of the daytime and they are of the night, because I was trying to not have light in the area and close my tent, and I accidentally it was new, the tip was new to me, and I didn't really know that I could catch another piece of the nylon in the zipper. So for like 20 minutes, it felt like 20 minutes, I kept trying to get the zipper free so I could close the door, because I was not going to sleep in that tent with the zipper and the door open, and not being completely comfortable, learning to be more comfortable with around them. And I wouldn't be here if I didn't trust that they would be comfortable to be around. Anyway, I broke the zipper accidentally and threw some blankets in my car, and I was going to sleep in the car and didn't really set up for it. Closed the door, and these lights in my car wouldn't go off. So I thought, well, dang it. And I couldn't get the door unlocked, so I turned the ignition on to start the car, and the darn alarm went off.
Oh.
And I hit the panic button to try to turn it off and didn't know what to do to get the darn thing off.
Okay.
And Ashley woke her up, and she came struggling over, and what are you doing?
Okay. Oh, so it didn't go off by itself? You pushed the
Well,
button?
no, I turned the car on to get the door unlocked because some of the lights were still on in the car. Not
Okay.
just the anti-theft light, but lights on the switches.
Okay.
I didn't understand why that was the case. Never had to do that before. Anyway, and true to her loyalty, oh my queen here, and her faithful stead knight king, showing up with their red lights to say, you know, what's going on? And because I said, no, if I push the panic button, come running, and they did. It was nothing.
Oh.
So my mommy here helped me get into bed.
We tucked you all in
Oh.
and said, now don't press that button unless it's
Put the
emergency.
key in the
We're
pouch
going
of the
back
car.
to bed.
But I discovered something I wanted to share, was that I was feeling that vibration in the back seat. I thought, that can't be. They would be mad at me for what I just did. Anyway, I thought, what on earth? And I realized it's the vibration of the water, the river going by so close.
Okay.
It was at the same tremor that I was experiencing on the cushion as the sound of the river.
Okay.
So then I, finally couldn't sleep. 6 o'clock, got up, climbed into the front seat, or 5:30ish, and got one of those seats down and covered up and turned on the heater a bit, warmed up, and slept till just a little while ago.
Good for you.
But I noticed yesterday when I was picking up litter that there were 2 hooks for a tent laying there, and I didn't pick those up with the litter. And then when I was walking around my tent this morning, I found that you guys may have done this, but 2 of the hooks were missing or were not attached to the tent.
Huh.
I don't remember. I think we put.
We
Did we put them all on?
yeah, we
So there were
because it had shifted the
Yeah.
night that you set it up. We came
Right.
back and it had moved.
And we
So
got
yeah,
those-
it was staked down.
they were bent. Remember, we were
Yeah.
trying to pound them in anyway.
Right.
Right. They were all 4.
Okay, well these were 2 bent ones, and they're still there, but they had been pulled up before, because I noticed it yesterday before I got into the tent, so I'd been there the night before.
Well,
And I didn't really expect any activity, and the sound of the river kind of blocks out any noise.
okay. Well, thank you very much. Okay, so last night I think there were 4 of us sitting here. I think Reba, you were sitting right over here on the other side. We heard a very distinct noise shuffling right here beside these trees, And then right in that same time frame, did somebody saw a shadow person?
I saw one going under the tents and up back against that trailer. I saw it several times.
You were
actually.
sitting right about where you're at
A
now.
little closer, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. And how
And
big
if you
was
hadn't
it?
told me that was something that happens here, I would have probably not mentioned it. But, well,
Actually, I did see it, and I
Yeah.
thought it's just my eyes.
it's
I'm
very
sure.
rapid. I mean, it didn't.
Uh-huh.
I was on a mission. We go back that.
How big was it?
Probably, I would say at least 5 feet tall.
Wow.
But I got the impression it was like sneaking.
Yep.
Oh,
No.
okay.
And the thunder.
Trying to be sneaky.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay, cool. You know, I saw one last year go right across behind these trees just before my chair vibrated with
Oh,
extreme intensity. And then, Courtney, you saw one last month, didn't you? Go through the kitchen area.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wow. Cool.
Yeah.
I saw a
Okay.
white light over there when we were playing frisbee over in the brush.
Last night?
Yeah.
Oh, cool. Okay.
And was anybody up at 4 in camp here? So
No.
at 4:08, I looked at my clock because I was hearing two females talking, and then about 6 times it was like the cooler lid went down, and I tried to duplicate it, and I couldn't make it sound that hard like it was closing. You know what I mean?
Wow.
Interesting,
Wow.
because this morning, before I got up, Kevin had left. I stayed in bed because I was up so late last night, off and on. And I swear there were people talking over here. And I got up. I thought, oh gosh, I got to get up and get moving. Nobody was here, but it sounded like there were 2 people having a conversation.
Exactly.
Wow.
During the night too, before just before your alarm went off. Let's see. Well, before that, there was, I think Kevin said it was 1:45. We started hearing stick breaks in the back. Big stick breaks. I woke up with the stick breaks. They woke me up. And he was already awake. He said, "Are you awake?" And I said, "Yeah, something's breaking back there." And that was around 2. By 2:15, there were the lights shining into the forest and from camp or the road. And so we decided we better get up in case there was some sort of a medical emergency or something. So we got up and came out, and you guys were just getting in your vehicle to go down. And then we went on. I went to the restroom, went back, just got tucked in to bed, and Kevin was on his back. I was on my side, and he's like, "Are you awake?" And I was, "Yes." And he's like, "Do you see the sparkles in the tent?" So I turned over, and sure enough, the Omnidome sparkles were in the tent again.
Wow.
It was it was really pretty, and so one of your viewers wanted us to do this swish with our arms.
Yeah.
So we both did it to see if we could touch them or make them move, and they were beyond our reach. But it
Okay.
was inside the tent, and
Wow.
there was just zillions or thousands of little sparkles. It was very pretty. And then I heard 3 clicks off the back side of the tent. And then, of course, we were on alert, like, oh. And then there was another click, but it was not as loud as the first click. And then there was another click. He heard a couple of rock clacks off towards the old road that's down below us.
I heard some rock clacks too.
Okay,
Yes.
did you?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, and then just while that was going on, the alarm went off. And
Ah.
we were up putting our boots on to come to your rescue.
Yeah.
And by the time we got back to bed, it was like 3 a.m. And it was complete silence after that.
Wow. Okay.
That was it. The alarm shut them down until 4 or something. When
Wow,
they must
the
have been over here
voices.
then.
Yeah, once I went in,
They
I
didn't
went right
stay
to
away.
sleep. I didn't, and it was so cold last night that once I was in my
Yeah.
tent, I thought about, getting my head untucked so I could watch the ceiling of the tent and see if it was going to happen again. But it was
Yeah.
no, I was too tired and cold, and it was just like, nah, we'll maybe
Yeah.
tomorrow night.
It was not a visual thing. I mean, we were actually seeing them because when we went back and got back in our tent, it was pitch black in there.
It was gone.
So it was gone.
Yeah.
So
I
the
was-
energy was just just everywhere. It was
I had
awesome.
those the first night I was
Yeah.
here, and every night since I've looked
Yeah,
and
yeah.
not
Pitch
had them.
black,
Yeah,
not
nothing.
a sparkle, not a.
Yeah, except for last night, I took one peek, and it was
Yeah.
cold and I was tired, so I
Yeah,
tucked my head
so
under the blanket and was
it's really
good.
there.
Terry, you want to share about the bird songs in the X?
Oh, well, when we stopped the car and got out, we both heard these, like, answers, these whistles that seemed to me to answer. So, like a conversation.
Wow.
And they had a mechanical or metallic.
It's those brushes.
Well,
right?
it very well could be because I don't know my birds.
No, I
but-
mean it's them, but they mimic the thrushes,
Oh,
and it has a metal sound to it. You're right.
Yeah.
But I say bionic thrushes, or bionic
Yeah.
birds, and I've heard other people say that.
What time
But
what
It
time
was
is
in the afternoon.
3:30.
Oh, was
got
this when
back
you were
from-
looking at the glyph across the road?
Right.
Okay, so that you were hearing those when I saw the little red dot of light
Yeah.
100 feet in front of your car that went.
Yeah.
So I was the only one in camp when you guys were all gone, and I heard a metallic sound coming from somewhere over there, and I tried to be real nonchalant about it, because if it was them, I didn't want to start looking. So I had my coffee, and I would just kind of turn around and come to the fire, and it was a metallic sound though.
Oh,
Definitely
so
a
that's
metallic
what
How many
sound.
times did you hear it?
Oh, probably 8s or 10s. It was quite
Yeah.
a few.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
The thing that made me think it wasn't birds is because there were 3 varying. It wasn't like a bird. All the species would have a similar sound. These were different. One was metallic. One was shorter, like it didn't have the lung capacity. And then another one, I can't remember how to define it. When we were looking at Giant X, trying to see if it had been moved there, we knew one part it wasn't, but we couldn't. One part looked like it had been rammed deep into the ground.
Wow.
Split in it, though.
Yeah, it had a
Okay.
split. So
I'll
we
go
weren't
over and
sure-
take a closer look at that today.
We
And you
couldn't
guys
see
were
the
over
root ball.
there hearing them. And
Yeah.
I was
They were over
hearing
there because I
them
pulled
over
up in
here.
the truck when they were
Yeah.
over there.
Yeah.
Where did you hear him?
Oh, I didn't.
Oh.
I when they were over there looking, I was coming in the truck.
Oh, okay.
We also
okay.
heard odd sounds like a odd whoop or jabber,
No.
and mixed in with those in the same area.
Yeah.
Mm, cool.
Okay. Very cool. Hey, anybody else?
I had yesterday. I love looking over there because I never thought about it that much last year. Anyway, cause I told Sandy, I said it's over there, and Sandy said, "Well, it's windy over there," and I kept watching this one spot right in there, and the limb was going up and down, and then it went down, and then it went back up slowly, and I saw a little head. And I would say, well, I don't know, it's hard to gauge, but it was, it had to be a small one, but it was like, and then
Oh.
went back down.
What color was it?
Black.
Oh, awesome. No ears were visible?
No, no. And to me, the head seemed round, not.
Oh,
Would
well,
a small
that
one
would
have
make
a
sense
round
for, yeah,
head?
the little ones,
Okay.
yeah, I
Yeah.
don't think they get the crest or the cone until they get
Okay.
older.
I always hear talking over there. I mean, when everybody talked about it, I feel like they're all over there. And I felt like last year I didn't pay attention to it, so this year I was going to, pay more attention to that area. So I know I saw it. I mean, it was,
Oh, yeah. Well, congratulations.
thank you.
You're welcome. Last night when we were sitting here, there was just a few of us left. I had made a comment about as we get farther into the camp out, it seems like they come closer in. And, that's when we start having things happen behind these trees. And, we'll get the shadow people that run through. And you'll start seeing eyes shine, a lot of stick breaks over in here. And it was like 30 seconds later, we start hearing all these stick breaks over in here. And it's like, oh, well, thank you for, validating what I just told everybody. And somewhere in there, that was when we heard the big scuffle back here. And all our heads turned at the same time for that one.
I just heard a whistle. Did anybody else hear that whistle? Little
No? Okay.
dementia.
No.
Sometimes people just don't hear it.
Yeah.
It happens.
Okay. Is anybody else?
When we walked down there to our area down there, before I got in my truck, I did hear a whoop or a scream, but it was down further.
Okay.
And I thought, well, surely Barb heard that. We'll talk about it in the morning.
No,
And yeah,
I didn't hear anything. But you know, I was getting in with Gabby, and
yeah,
you know, there was a lot of rustling going on in my tent, and
Yeah.
so I could have easily missed it.
yeah. It wasn't loud. It was definitely farther away. But
Yeah. Well,
that's it
cool.
for me.
Okay. Anybody else? Nope. All right. Well, I guess that wraps up our Friday morning meeting. Thank you so much, everybody. We're going to have a great day. We're going to have a even better night. And can't wait to see what's going to happen next. Woo!